Hey everybody, this is Roy. They used to call me that old stock car boy, but actually I'm really a heavy equipment mechanic. And there's my truck over there. That's my repair truck right there. And we work on a lot of different things that people don't want to work on anymore. Old trolleys and old equipment. And today we're working on another problem over here. It's a 2011 Chevy Equinox. And when this whole thing started, it threw a lot of codes, the crankshaft sensor and cam sensor. And, probably like everybody does, you throw some parts at it, and we thought we had it fixed, and then we came back, and all of a sudden it starts doing the bucking like a horse again, right in the middle of traffic. It don't want to run. You go around a corner, and it don't want to run. So, finally, the long and short of it was, after we replaced the timing chain and everything, which I thought wasn't really that bad, we figured it out that it must be this culprit right here. Now, this is a VVT sprocket, which I don't know a whole lot about, but I'm learning. And what happened is basically, they probably didn't change the oil. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's some scores in there, and it got stuck. You can probably see it a little better in this piece. That little shiny spots right there, yeah. Didn't change the oil enough, and the thing got stuck. So I looked on the internet, and nobody had anything on this. So I used to work on power shift transmissions, and this is basically the same thing in a transmission. There's a port in the camshaft that comes in through those two holes right there. And you see them? The oil pressure comes in through those holes, through these holes into those holes, and they move this part back and forth. I'm going to stick it in there so you can see it. This is my first video, by the way, so you'll have to bear with me a little bit. Well, anyway, that goes in there like that. Okay, and this bolts to the sprocket with these screws right here. And how I found this was when this part moves, well, this part moves. It goes back and forth like this. And I just want to try to show you. There's a little hole in there, if you can see it, on the bottom. I'll point to it with a screw right in there. And this pin goes up and down. So the pin goes down and locks it until the computer calls for a retard or whatever it wants to have. And then this piece moves back and forth. Well, how we found it was it started bucking, so we brought it right back and took the valve cover off. And I put a 5/16 wrench on the cam, and the cam turns, and then it locked, the pin locked in. So this is the pin, and it locked in. Oops, I just dropped it. This is the pin, and it locked in right here. So I didn't have any knowledge about that, and if you notice, it's loose in there a little bit. So the oil pressure comes through this part right here and gets into there and opens this pin up so the part can turn. I'm going to take it out again. If I can get it, well, I'll just put it on there. So this part can turn. So what actually happened was the pin opened up and this part turned like that, and it got stuck. And so we got back and we had the same codes that we had before after replacing everything. And we went online and nobody had anything on the VVT sprocket. Well, once I took it apart, I knew that that was the problem because the thing was stuck and it had dirt, not enough oil changes. So we ordered some online and they sent us these, and the guy wanted to have my serial numbers and everything, and so I sent him the serial numbers, and they sent me two different ones, which is an exhaust and an intake. Well, the exhaust one is a, look on here, maybe you can see the number. I don't know, I'll read the number for you, but it's a 126210505 sprocket. And my particular car that I'm working on has two exhaust VVT sprockets. Some of them have an intake and an exhaust, and I really don't know which ones do, but nobody else seems to know either. O'Reilly's and Napper, and the one girl that got it right was the one from AutoZone. She says, "Well, no," she says, the sprocket that we have according to our things fits both sides. So we only had found one in stock, so I used one of the new ones from the Chinese company, and then I used the other one from O'Reilly's. They had one of them. So now if you look, there's a black and a yellow one, and I'll go back over to the car. If you look at the new ones now, you're going to see that both of them are black. So I put the yellow one on, but I had to turn the cam, the intake cam, 180 degrees, and that gave me the willies. So I said, well, obviously that can't be right, and I didn't really want to go through the whole timing sequence to see if the cams were right with the wrong one on there. So I just said the hell with that and went and bought another one, and we put that on there, and we put the timing chain back on. And by the way, once you put this timing chain on and it turns, it's pretty hard to get it back to the location to line the marks up. So if you put one of these on and the marks don't line up, if you count the teeth back, you can get it within, if you do 5 turns, you can get it very close. And if you take a quick look at the one I have, you can see my gold color link is right over the point, and the black one is over there too. I can't really get to that right now, but take my word for it, it's there. Now, I gotta tell you, I don't know anything about VVT sprockets, but I do now. And not only that, but the two new now these things right here, these module things, that's basically like the shift lever on a power shift transmission. When the computer tells those to open, they open and let a hydraulic pressure through those two holes. So you have, this one's for the intake and this one's for the exhaust. They're supposed to be black and yellow, but they're not. They're both black. But if you look inside of them, you can tell by the connections which one they are. So, you know, we put those in. But if you have one of these cars that's over 100,000 miles, this one has 170,000 miles, and it's giving you code problems. And if the timing chain hasn't been changed, then you want to change the timing chain, and you also want to change everything else, because more than likely, with all that mileage, there's probably some dirt in these VVT sprockets. And they wanted $400 for them from Napper, and then O'Reilly's was $105, and then the guy online, you can find him online for $60, but you've got to really know what the hell you're putting on it, because if you put the wrong ones on it, then, or order the wrong ones, then you're going to be waiting like we did another 3 weeks for something to come that's wrong, and that wasn't a lot of fun. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to put something out there on VVT sprockets to make sure everybody changes their oil in time, because that's pretty much what the story is with this vehicle. It didn't get changed enough and ruined the sprockets, but not only that, it had 170,000 miles on it. And there's my truck again. Isn't that a pretty truck? I mean, it don't look like much, but you can see the back's full of junk. And then I have stuff in here and stuff in the back. I mean, the back is full. All right, that's locked. And this one's full over here. That's my apple orchard. No apples this year. The frost killed them all. There's my hay trailer up back there with a tarp over it. See that? And this is one of my son's cars, and he was supposed to be out here to help me, but he didn't come. And, well, this is our shop. Real fancy, huh? Not much. Everybody has a little project here. I work with some young boys, and they like to try to make stuff, and everybody's got a project somewhere. So, hey, thank you, and hopefully somebody's out there has got one of these VVT sprockets and an Equinox, and they're not all the same, so don't think you can go to the junkyard and just grab anyone. You gotta make sure that you look on the back of them, and you'll see a serial number right on the sprocket if it's the original one. I'm going to show you once more. There it is right there. GM 126215505. And make sure that you know what the hell you're buying that came off the old car. It's probably right. Don't let somebody else tell you that they got the wrong ones on there, or you just take the whole motor out as soon as you turn it over. So that's it. Have a nice day, and if you can't get there from here, you can get there from there, and if you're there, you won't know where here was, because where the hell were you in the first place? Have a good day. Thank you.